At Electronica 2016, Elektor Business TV has been welcomed to the stand of Würth. Now, to call this a stand or even a booth is an understatement. This is great and massive presentation of a company with also a massive reputation, Würth Elektronik. I'm going to talk to Alexander Gerfer. Alexander, we at the Elektor booth are running the Fast Forward Awards, and Würth is a main sponsor. Could you discuss a bit what Würth's involvement is in the Fast Forward Awards, please?
Well, we are a gold sponsor of your...
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
Welcome. Of your Fast Forward Award, and for me as an old electronic designer, I'm ready to be mechanics, old reader of, really old reader, of the Elektor, the magazine.
Nice to hear.
It was really nice that you went in this way of really motivating young people, going on their own ideas and creating stuff. And for us, it's very important to be on this track. As we see, this is really a new approach into new designs, and we found, and when I looked through the applications you got there, because we're also in the jury and checking on these.
Yes, I was going to ask Alexander, from what electronic angle, if you could call it that, is Würth looking at the proposals?
Let's say one side is of course applications. So what kind of new applications are going into the market, or from perspective of designers, startups, what they see as an application. Because sometimes when you are in your daily work, it's like you are limited to your views only. And I found, looking through these applications, some nice ideas where I said, oh wow, why didn't we motivate people to go there? So it was really nice to see. And then of course fitting some of these, our components into these applications would be great, of course.
Sure, of course, yeah.
That's why we look into this and want to support this case.
Thank you very much for supporting. Alexander, Würth is coming from a background of inductors in the way distant past. So how did Würth evolve in such a massive undertaking which we are seeing right now? Tell me.
Well, let me say it this way.
It is massive.
When I started in the company roughly 20 years ago, I had no clue what an inductor is, what a ferrite is doing. I had the basic knowledge what was published in Elektor out of these days, how the ferrites are working. But it was for me a way of, I was not happy with this. So I started a lot of research with my teams and my people. How can we bring the knowledge into the customers' daily work? Because at that times EMI were really a massive driver of solutions and need of support. And of course from this step, from EMI ferrites to go for power inductors, for transformers, for RF inductors is only one step further. You put windings on it. And we found on this way many people have really struggling.
Exactly, I was one of them, because as the viewers will recognize, we hate inductors, don't we? We love the program stuff, but as long as we can postpone doing anything with an inductor, it's helpless. And then Würth came with your famous trilogy. The handbook of electronics on wound components, that was brilliant. So moving into the future, Alexander, IoT is all over the place here at the show. What's Würth's involvement in IoT? Can you sketch a few lines?
From a discussion of a hype several years ago, now it's coming more streamlined. People now and designers are more now on the way. What do we take good out of this and how do we implement it? Industry 4.0, of course, always about predictive maintenance. It's one thing.
They don't want machines to stop. No, they have to keep working. And efficiency is key.
Yeah, and so you have to sensor, you have to catch your data, you have to maintenance out of these data, machines, production lines, buildings, whatever. On the other side, of course, what's missing is the actor side, feedback. Eventually direct into a machine. So our involvement is here, as well as of Internet of Things. We want to support this point of sensoring. So we're actively going
input
there.
Side, sensoring, very important.
And we documented
it. Actuator side also.
At this time, we are on the way.
Good.
I cannot
say
too much.
Okay. News.
But what we did was a merge of a company in Germany, Amber Wireless, which is doing RF modules, where we have this really point of where and how do I get my data into my system, wired or wireless. So we can now close that loop and support this. Yeah.
You mentioned support, everybody mentions support. What's on the table, Alexander, in terms of practical support with development kits to help makers and starters? You brought a few things. Can you show them or discuss them with me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have, of course, jointly.
Put it here, so everybody can have a look. Yeah.
We have some kind of jointly developed kits, like the one here for Rome for wireless power charging. This is a kit where people directly can go into a plug and play mode, when you call it like play. Yeah? So because you have the
that's the hallmark of Würth, an inductor.
Yep. And of course you have with a IC partner like Rome. So this you can use as a direct plug and play. You can get your experience. How does it work? Yep. What about the power levels you can transfer? Is it really up in the voltage as described? And so on and so forth. So these guys and these solutions are really available for designers to start off from here with descriptions how the board is working, so you can directly go and plug and play and go into your application, right?
How about support, Alexander? Everybody is talking about support. You know, you can give people a lot of hardware, but can you give them support for software and issues as well?
Also, I have a second kit eventually.
Yeah. Another one. This one's even bigger.
It's also very interesting for the startup scene, I would say. The Energy kit from Linear Technology and Würth Elektronik for energy harvesting. Because when we have sensoring, when we have some things we want to collect, question is how do I get the system to work? What about my energy? Where do I get it from?
Sure.
And we have different kind of applications, thermal, vibration, whatever. Yeah. This energy kit is...
Open it up, Alexander, and let's have a look inside. The brilliant kit. Oh, man.
A lot of stuff from thermal up to vibration, everything is inside. And you can, again, plug and play and work around and see how is it working.
Yep.
What energy I can derive out of my system vibrating, or...
We are talking like nanoamps and microamps.
Absolutely.
They are important.
What is supported from such kind of kit? To save time and to go much more easier into final solutions.
Okay. Thanks, Alexander. Okay.
Software support.
Software support. I was asking. We are always concentrating on hardware. Software. Go ahead.
Let's say it this way. We are an analog company, but still we know if it comes to design, I want to get fast answers. And so we have a tool which we call Red Expert, like the word red and expert, which is free for the users. They can sign up and go into, and they get in many different kind of modules. They can select components, but as well they can do a simulation of buck, boost, CEPIC, something like this. Select power inductors into the system and see even on the power inductors efficiency, AC total losses of the component, which is even temperature dependent and current dependent. They get the answer in my application at that operating point. How would it look like? This is a time saver again. And even out of this, I can, of course, ask for samples, whatever. So this is what we do. We don't, of course, for the wireless power, for the wireless RF modules, of course, we go a bit further, helping people programming their software stack, of course, But we have analog components, so for inductors, then we don't need any more.
No. You just need to get them manufactured correctly, and you have to know how they operate, because inductors, as you rightly say, are in many cases still big question marks to many designers. And I think Würth really deserves a lot of credit for opening up the inductor and making it accessible, and also for the nice kits you are producing for makers, startups, which where we are from Elektor Business always looking for how that is happening from the ground upwards. Alexander, thank you very much for your interview, and best of luck with Würth and the company. Okay?
And for you, and looking forward for the results and winners for the Fast Forward.
Yes, they will be announced on Friday. There will be the big grand finale of the FFA. Yeah. Thanks, Alexander. Thank you.